Hi guys, today we are making a halter and lead rope for your Breyer horse. First you need a hot glue gun. You also should have extra hot glue sticks, 6mm ribbon, 6 or 7mm jump rings, and a lobster clasp. I prefer to use the 15mm for Breyer. And of course a Breyer model, this is Lyric. Now you are going to get your ribbon and cut it about 2 inches long. Like this. Alright, there's your 2-inch piece of ribbon. Now you're going to get a jump ring and put it through the ribbon. Okay, now the shorter piece I pull over, then the longer piece I pull back. You're going to put hot glue right here. Alright. I'm going to push this down. It might be a little hot, but my fingers are used to it. And make sure it's a little loose so that this can move around the jump ring. Now cut off any excess glue or string that doesn't need to be there. As you can see, that's what I'm doing right now. Good. Now you're going to get your string with your jump ring and make sure the part where you glued down is like facing them on them so you don't see any of the seams. Then make sure the jump ring lines up with their mouth line. Then wrap it over their nose. You want to do the same exact thing. Make sure it lines up with their mouth line and put another jump ring there. And now do the exact same thing on the other side. Glue right there. Push this down like that. And cut off the extra. Good. So now, every single time you do crafts, you always want to double check and make sure it fits your model. Alright. So always have the ugly parts, I say, facing them. So put it on there. That seems to fit him pretty good. It seems probably about where I want it. So yeah, that's decent. So if it doesn't look like this, you might want to try again. But it should look something like this with the 2 jump rings on each end and then a ribbon in the middle. Now what you're going to do is pretty much make the other side of the noseband. So pretty much you're going to do the exact same thing, just you're not going to add jump rings, so it's just going to be a ribbon looped around. So I will do that. Alright, since I cut my ribbon. By the way, it doesn't always have to be 2 inches. I just make it longer than you think, or else if you make it too short, you can't really go back. So yeah. Now you're going to have the good side facing you, and you're going to put the ribbon through that loop on the good side. So then when you glue it back, all of them will be the same ugly side facing there. So bend this around, do my glue, and glue some on there. Alright, now that I got this, trim these sides. Alright, now that you've done that, double check to make sure it fits your Breyer. Alright, so put this around the same one here. Get this around their nose. And put this through. Now that you put that through, you're gonna put this back on your Breyer. And just pull the inside one just to see where it kind of measures good. Then that's where you're gonna glue. What I like to do is inside it out, so when you glue it, it'll be a little bit easier. Glue that down just like this. And push it, and voila. Alright, now that you've done that, trim it again. Now that I trimmed it, inside it back out, and make sure it fits your Breyer. Now, I probably could have gone a little bit tighter on him, but you want it to be tighter than looser, so it doesn't come off, but that's pretty decent. This is pretty good. Alright, now you're going to make the cheek piece for your Breyer. I actually like to use a thinner piece of ribbon, so this is, what, a 3mm, which is obviously a little thinner than this. And I like to use this for the cheek piece because I think it looks cooler as having your halter a little bit of some different colors, and I think this looks like a good collar combo. Now again, cut it about 2 inches, and we are gonna feed this through technically the left side of the horse. So feed this through the loop, and bring this back over, hold this back, and glue right here. Alright, now that I got this, you're going to double check your Breyer to make sure it fits. Alright, so basically how you do that, this is going to be on the left side of the horse, so if the horse is looking at you, it's your right side. So let's put this back on Lyric here, and aim it so it's like this. Don't worry, this just dropped my hot glue gun. It's fine. So now what you're going to do is going to line him up and put a jump ring probably like right under his eye, and put a jump ring right there and loop it back around. Now I made a little mark with a marker where under his eye is, so I gotta put this through one of the rings and kind of line it up where that little mark is. So black dot, I'm gonna line this up right in the middle of the jump ring, do it, and glue it back down again. Right, let's glue this just like that. Right now, let's trim it. There we go, just like that. Right now, make sure it's pretty lined up with your Breyer. Okay, so I think this is pretty good. You kind of want it right about there, kind of little over their eye, kind of the backward of their eye, little far back. Then this would come up a little bit more. So that's pretty good. You kind of want your cheek piece about right there. So that's pretty good. Now do the same thing on the other side. My string, now let's glue this down. There we go. Alright, I got this. Now we're gonna line it up with this one to make another loop over on this side. Alright, I'm done with this. Now we are gonna try it on our Breyer. Okay, so this is pretty equal than the other side. I'm pretty proud of this. These seem pretty decent, pretty equal. These are pretty good, like here, it's pretty equal. So yeah, now let's move on. All right, now I'm gonna look at her, and this little piece under we're gonna do. So this little piece that goes around, it's pretty much just a big string that goes around from the cheek pieces, those loops. So right here that's gonna go around and under their cheek, or really their head. So yeah. Okay, now get to our original string and cut it about 3 inches. Okay, now I got this. This is gonna go right under here, is like the little throat latch, I should say. But then we're gonna make a little, another piece of rope that's coming down so it looks more like a real halter. So yeah. Let's try and get this through this tiny little loop. Okay. Please work. Got it. Alright, now we're gonna glue this again. Try to untwist it a little. Okay. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to put this through the other side, like this, and measure it on your Breyer. Alright, now go ahead and trim it. Alright, now that I finished this up, it's definitely going to look weird, but let's try it on. Oh, this is backwards. Okay. So now it's going to be like this, and it's going to go around him. Under, excuse me, I burped. And it's gonna go right here below the eyes, and that's how it should look. It's gonna be a little funky once you let it go, but it'll still work. All right, now we're gonna get your other shade of string and make this little other part on the bottom to make it look more like a halter. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so this is gonna be a little different because the measurements are kind of weird and there is no jump rings involved. So this is gonna have to be down. Well, here, like this. So then the rope is gonna be in between this. So I have to do that. So you do use a jump ring for when you clip on the halter. So you get one of these, put it on the string, just like that. Okay, so now that I got my ring on, I'm gonna put the string around here, and the loop is gonna be on the bottom of the noseband, and you are gonna glue right here, so on this little tab. All right, now that I did this, you want it to be a little loose so this moves, and the ring should be able to move too. I'm probably gonna glue this a little bit more so the ring will be a little bit tighter. Right, I tighten this a little bit more. So now this is gonna be facing down. So then we're gonna loop this around and glue it right here, and I'm obviously gonna have to trim this so it's just a little bit, and you're gonna glue it right there. All right, now that I have glued this, I'm gonna check it on our Breyer. Okay, so it should be right here. Then this should look like that. Yeah, that's good. So then you're gonna have it right under there again, under their cheek. And this still does look kind of funky, but it will work in the end. Yeah, kind of want it to look like that. So then here's what it briefly looks like without it on the Breyer. So yeah, it should look like that. Now we're gonna make this piece of our Breyer, and it will have these two little rings for the little buckle. Now you're gonna get your other color and make that part. So you are gonna make this a little bit longer, so I'm gonna say about 3 inches again, and snip that. Good. So it's gonna fit on like this. So, like I said, it would be the horse's right and our left if it were looking at us. So I'm gonna put it on this side, aka our left side, but the horse's right side. So let's see if I can get this through. It's gonna be a little difficult. Oh, surprisingly, I got it pretty good. So now we're gonna flip this over and make it the inside and glue it right there. All right, now you're gonna put 2 jump rings on this string. Well, technically ribbon. All right, got one. Now for the second one. There we go. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna glue it down just like that. But before we do that, you're gonna put it on your Breyer. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. Now it's moving. Put this over. There we go. Put it on. You're gonna wrap it over their head, and you're gonna glue them right about there so it's just below their ear, and measure it right there and glue it. All right, now that you've done that, I'm gonna double check it to make sure it fits your Breyer. Hold on. There we go. So you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. So that is pretty good. You want it just below the ears, so that's pretty decent with the 2 jump rings. That's good. All right, now you're gonna get the same ribbon and do the same thing on the other side, but it's not gonna have the 2 rings, and the string's gonna be a lot longer. There we go, got it through. Let's hot glue right here again. All right, now that you got this, you're gonna try it back on your Breyer horse. All right, So let's put this back on Lyric. Okay. Just like that. So now this is under his ears. So then what you want to do is gonna loop this around. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the string through both of these jump rings. Now the one that is lower, gonna kind of separate them like this, like that. And then you're gonna put the string back through the one on the bottom, and pull it through, and pull it nice and tight to make sure it fits on your Breyer. Alright, now that we got that, we're gonna trim it. I like to put it on an angle. I think it makes it look prettier. Cut it pretty slow. And now you're gonna put hot glue on here so it doesn't fray. Got that, and I cut it, and that, my friends, is how you make a halter. Now we're gonna move on to the lead rope. Alright, so let's start making the lead rope here. So I am going to get Beauty, or at least that's the name I call her, and unclip this so I can show you it better. Alright. So what you're gonna do is we're gonna get a jump ring and kind of twist it and loop it on this lobster clasp, and I'll show you how to do that. Right, so we got a lobster clasp, and I got my jump ring. Kind of pulled it, so it kind of is like, you might not really be able to tell by the camera, but I kind of like twisted them so they're not exactly right by each other. So then you put this through one of them, and you twist these back together so they'll meet up. Alright, now that I put these back together, it should look like this, and the jump ring should definitely be loose. Now what you're going to do is get your other piece of ribbon and make it actually quite long. I'm going to say about 6 inches. And let's see, then let's go ahead and cut it. There we go. And really quick, just double check to make sure, just to kind of estimate. So this would be kind of like this. It should be able to go around or like that, so you have a little bit of room, if you can see. Just like that. Now we're going to get our lobster clasp and jump ring and put the ribbon through the jump ring. Like this, and we're going to glue this side again. Right, now that we got this, we're going to double check it on our Breyer just to make sure we got the right measurements. So that's pretty good, so then loop it back around. And that's a decent amount of room, so that's good. So now what you're going to do is make this little loop for the Breyer human to put their hand in. Right. So I'm going to get this. Going to loop this around. This is going to be a little different because you want to have a little loop. Just got to be really careful from where you glue. Just like that. Yep, that little loop. Alright, now let's double check. Let's get this on Lyric. There we go. That fits pretty good. So you want it to be quite long. I'm going to say where the loop is to the tip of their tail for a traditional size Breyer. You can do this with classics, stablemates. It's probably definitely be hard for stablemates though. So I try to stick with traditionals. It gives you a lot of room to work with. Hope you guys had a fun time making this with me. Hope you liked it. Please watch some other YouTube videos on my channel and YouTube Shorts. I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.